Can I say the truth? One day I'm with God and the other, I feel like I'm not, and then I don't. Okay, so um this is so what you're talking about right now is the reality of what we call spiritual warfare. So hold on one second. Thank you, Lord. It doesn't matter how you feel, right? So how you feel has absolutely nothing to do with the truth. How you feel has absolutely nothing to do with the truth. How you feel is a result of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So Satan says, well, did God really say that you're his child? You don't really feel like his child today. That feeling is the time when you need to stand. That feeling is the time whenever you need to believe. Remember, Jesus came up out of the river Jordan. He heard a voice out of heaven saying, "This is my beloved son in whom I am well pleased." The Spirit descended on him like a dove. Immediately he went into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. That's the voice. That's the false accuser. Jesus didn't experience a real live devil in the wilderness. If he experienced that, he wasn't tempted the same way we are in every point yet without sin. He experienced the devil right here. And if you're really the Son of God, do something to prove it. Turn this stone into bread. Hop up off of this temple and let everyone see angels carry you up. If you bow down to me, I'll give you the riches of this world. If you're really the Son of God, take over everything. And what Jesus say? No, I'm not going to tempt the Lord my God. He said I'm his child. End of story. I'm not going to tempt the Lord that God. I'm not nourished by what I can do. I'm nourished by the word of my Father. No, Him only should I serve. I don't need to dominate other people. I don't need riches and wealth to prove that I am God's child. I am God's child because he said I am his child. End of story. God said is the end of story. And that's the fight of the Christian. They want to look to other knowledge to come to the conclusion of what God said. You don't need any other knowledge to come to the conclusion of what God said. What God said is true. What God said created the worlds, and what God said made you his child. And that's the end of it. And your fight is the fight against that voice trying to convince you that what God said is not true. Do you understand that? Your fight, the fight of faith, because we walk by faith, not by sight, not by our senses. So what God said is what is true. And God said is the end of story, the simplicity, the single-hearted devotion. It's the opposite of duplicity, which means being double-minded. There's another option. And the subtlety that Satan comes in and to resist his wiles is, can I connect the dots through how things look, through how I feel, through what I think I need to come to another conclusion that what God said is not true, that I need more than the work of Christ? That's our fight. That is our fight. And he's so subtle with it. I mean, you can wake up and be like, you know what? This is going on, and that is going on, and this is going on. And then it'll cause you to get a feeling. Well, I haven't been feeling good for a couple days, but it's because those lies are speaking louder than the reality of your relationship with God. And then you stop engaging in your relationship with God because you think that A plus B plus C equals God is not true anymore. Or somebody starts to treat you a certain way. I mean, we can go through an infinite amount of examples, and every single one of those examples doesn't do anything about the truth.